Hi, my name's Hannah and I'm going to be fixing my art. For all the normal people in the world, we are in the second week of September, but for all the artists out there, we are currently in the second stage of Swordtember. For anybody that doesn't know, Swordtember is an art challenge that spans across the entire month of September, and it is dedicated to either designing, making, or sculpting sword-related artworks. Whether you are a cosplayer, a sculptor, a traditional artist, or a digital artist, there are many ways that you can get involved in Swordtember. My involvement in Swordtember this year is actually going back to previous artworks that I had done in 2024, and I'm taking a few of the designs that I created for 2024 Swordtember and I am making them better than the original. In my last video, I explained why 2024 Swordtember was not as successful as it could have been. So now, going into 2025, I think it's a good opportunity for me to bump up my skills, show off a little bit more of what I've learned in my art journey, and also have a side-by-side comparison versus where I was last year compared to this year. The prompt list that I used last year was from the very talented Faith Schaffer, who I found on Instagram. They are a traditional watercolour artist that also explores some digital art as well, with heavy themes of Renaissance. I do believe they're also doing another prompt list for Swordtember 2025, so go and check that out and maybe give it a go if you've got the time. For this video, however, I am going back and looking at Day 12's design from last year, which is fire. Now, like usual, I did my research. I gathered a bunch of reference images, as I should do last year, and I collected them all together, and one of the images that really stuck with me was this particular lighter that I saw on Pinterest. Once I kind of fell down that rabbit hole, that lighter was the be-all and end-all for this design. And as I mentioned in my previous video from last week, looking too closely at the reference material was definitely my downfall for some of these designs from last year. So this is what I came up with last year, and as you can see, I've just redrawn that lighter. There's no sword here at all. Very similar to the problems that I had in my previous video. I think what I wanted to do was I wanted the kind of like the rope that went in the middle of the lighter to be the handle and have like the liquid as the guard, and then the flame is kind of like being flung around. Like it's dumb. I don't know why I couldn't have come up with something better. The lighter just absolutely had a grip on me that I could not escape from. So this is what I came up with, and now we're going to fix it. Starting with better reference material. Over the summer, I spent a lot of time with family and also my partner's family as well. And one of the big projects that are going on in the family at the minute is that they are building a tiki bar in the back of their house, and it's coming along really well. It looked amazing, and we had the privilege of actually going and seeing it in person. It looks really cool, and it's very on theme. So that was actually the inspiration for this new design. I wanted my sword to be kind of like tiki bar inspired. Yeah, that was the starting point. So I had a look at some reference images for like the traditional tiki masks. I had a look at tiki torches as well to see if I could incorporate some of the handle designs from traditional tiki torches as well. And then from there, I started my thumbnailing. I started by having the old design as a reference image in the top left so that I could make sure the new designs looked nothing like it, and then I decided that I wanted the blade to look like a flame. I thought that could be quite a cool detail, so I tried to stick with the lighter in the first instance just to see if I could kind of create something that was in the same realm as the reference images that I had previously, but I think I was preferring the tiki method, so I moved straight over into those designs. I had a look at like using grass for the handle with a flame design for the blade. I then moved over and had a look at like tiki torches, like I said before, having a look at how I can make the guard different. But then I decided that I wanted a tiki mask. I think it was the most symbolic thing that I could add to the sword to make the theme so much more obvious. And then I incorporated the dry grass elsewhere elsewhere. I think the whole kind of like tiki man-made, using natural materials to kind of create these cool designs was what I was going for. So I wanted to incorporate the dried grass, I wanted the tiki mask, and I wanted the blade to also look like it had some elements of human interaction with it. I wanted to look like it had been crafted. So instead of a flame blade, I decided to have a really kind of like jagged man-made blade wrapped in cloth that was then set on fire. And I really liked the last thumbnail here. It was kind of like a Frankenstein design of the stuff that I had done previously, so that was the one that I chose to develop further. Once I was happy with the final thumbnail, I took it into a new canvas and then I started outlining and colouring. I wanted to try and keep the colours quite warm throughout the design, so once I finished all of the line work, I made sure to stick with things like browns and yellows, things that kind of related to fire so that the sword was quite cohesive. I think the only contrasting colour was the blade itself, but you'll see as the design goes on and when I start using adjustment layers to add like lighting and atmosphere to the design, that quickly changes. So the entire sword is actually quite harmonious with its colours. I went in and like, you can't really see it on the video, which is such a shame, but I added bits of texture to the mask as well. Like there's like very faint blood spatters here and there to kind of give it a more tribal and like handmade, used for war kind of effect. The fire itself I'm pretty happy with. I don't usually add a lot of things like flames or visual effects to my design, so I'm really glad that I went back and actually pushed this a little bit more, and I do think that the fire is a little bit more successful than the previous design as well. It looks like it belongs on the sword and it ties in with the heavy outlining as well. So overall I was much happier with this design, and like I said in my previous video, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop talking for a little while and I'm going to show you all of the designs that I had designed from Swordtember 2024 for this week alongside the new design. So I'm going to shut up for a minute, enjoy, and I will see you at the end of the video. Another redesign which is considerably better than the original. Like I mentioned in my previous video, this is just a mini series to kill a little bit of time whilst I'm getting into the swing of the academic year starting back up again. The graphic novel videos will be back in October, but for now, please let me know if you're enjoying this mini-series and if you want to see more art challenges outside of the graphic novel as well. If you're participating in Swordtember, let me know whose list you're doing. And once again, I cannot recommend Faith Schaffer's prompt list enough if you've never participated in Swordtember before. I've linked their page down in the description below so that you can go and check it out for yourself. For now though, I want to say a massive thank you for watching this video. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this from the channel. And until then, I will see you in the next one.